Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about something called as hyperparameters. In some of my open classes that I've started taking, I have discussed how you could use the data or data analysis to quickly able to see what in technical analysis works and what does not work, what combinations work, how they really can effectively work. Today I'm going to be talking about a very basic simple RSI strategy that a lot of people use. That let's first talk about the strategy. So your RSI most of the times goes from all the times goes from 0 to 90, and it will go something like this. It'll go up and then come down, go up and come down, and whatever whichever way you would look like. Okay, this particular strategy talks about buying. So most of the people do this. Let me change the color. Most of the people say buy above 30 and sell below 70. Okay, so whenever the market crosses above 30, you are going to be buying. This is 30 RSI and this is 70 RSI. Okay, so you buy whenever the market goes above 30 and you sell whenever it goes below 70 again, and you are able to make good profits. At least that is how people think. But in my classes I've shown how this strategy does not really guarantee good quality return. So how does RSI work at all? We don't know. Can we use the data and can we use the analysis of data to be able to find out how and where it would work? So what I'm planning to do today is, for instead of 70, we can use, let me just change the color one more time to green. Okay, instead of 70, we can use a different set of ranges that we can test it. And instead of 30, again we could use different set of ranges. So I'm going to be saying, let's say you want to use these kind of ranges. So what we are going to be doing effectively is starting with the minimum window, which is 1, and then we are going to be having another one which is going to be, let's say, 3. So we are only going to be seeing buy when it crosses 1 and sell when it crosses 3. Then we are going to be moving that 3 above to, let's say, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way to 99. Okay, this is how we are going to be doing. And then we are going to be evaluating the performance, and this then 1 will become 2, 3, 4, 5, and so we will end up testing for all the different combinations of RSI and how does it look like. So very quickly, you don't need to understand the code. It's fairly straightforward. What I am doing is minimum window is 1, maximum window is 99. RSI, instead of using just RSI 14, which is standard, we are going to be trying with RSI 11, 12, 13, 14, different values of RSI all the way till 18, just to see whether it works or not. And if I run this, it's just shift enter to run a particular cell. We are going to be testing this on a variety of stocks. I have chosen Nifty 50 stocks, taken out few because there was not all the data available, and we are going to be testing all the way from 2007 until 2022. 2008 will take, so about 12 13 years of data we are going to be testing it on. So let's download all the symbols. Symbol downloading will take a little while based on your internet connection. Let it run. We will just continue. Then we will see if the data is it has got all the data. So these are close. ONGC one column, NTPC next column, Kotak Bank next column, and so on and so forth, all the way from 2007 until 2021 13 12, which is when I'm doing this recording. And then we'll just do some sanity checks, some cleanups, and then little more cleanup, and this is my final close. So my final close starts from 1st of November 2007 and it goes till 13/12/2021. This is how my whole data is. I am going to be testing it for different RSIs. So I have taken RSI 11, 12, 13, 14, all the way to 18. I am going to be testing for these different levels, right? This is why I did not delete this particular drawing. So let me just run it and show you how what all combinations I'm going to be testing. I'm going to be testing first 1 and 3. So buy when it crosses 1 and sell when it crosses 3, and then 1 and 5, then 1 and 7, 1 and 9, 1 and 11, and then so on and so forth. 1176 combinations. The last one is 95 and 97. So we are going to be testing total of about 1076 transactions, the combinations of RSI, the RSI value itself about 8 of them, and on 45 different stocks. So if I multiply all of them, we are going to be testing for 423,000 different conditions. Now, is that a good enough sample size? Of course, we are testing it over a period of 13 years for 423,000 different combinations. So I am fairly sure that this should give us good data. So let's create the RSI as an indicator. Now this will next one. I am saying RSI entry whenever the RSI crosses above the buy level, which is this, the first column, and whenever it crosses below the RSI sell, I am going to be doing an exit. So let it run. It's going to take a little while to run. If I print the different entries, there are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4 million in total. We are talking about 4 million trades. I mean, yes, machines can take so many trades, and these trades are being taken on a daily time frame. Okay, so it's not a second or minute or HFT kind of trading. 4 million trades on different indicators, different time frames. So the total entries, as I said, will be about 4377 rows, which is our data, and the total number of columns combinations is 423,000. The data for the entries and exits will look something like this. 1, 3, and 11 is the RSI value, then ONGC, then NTPC, Kotak Bank, so on and so forth, and it will end with 95, 97, that is our final combination, 18, that is our final RSI value, and Eicher Motor, Tata Consumes, Maruti, Grasim, whatever. So there are about 45 different stocks that we are testing, and if I run this, what I am doing here is run it for each of the combination in a loop and create a portfolio. When I create a portfolio, I'm going to be storing that the most important values, the total returns, the Sharpe ratio, Sortino ratio, and maximum drawdown. I'm storing that in different arrays. This takes more than 1 hour to run. So I'm going to, for this class, I'm going to be skipping running of this particular code, but I'm sure you can write your own code and you could run your own code. So if I look at total returns, it will be an array something like this. The Sharpe ratios are going to be again similar arrays, and you would have this. Now, the most important thing which I could not show on the class, I am able to visualize this. In the class, we talked about what are the best levels and how do we find the best drawdown levels and best Sharpe ratios and so on and so forth, which is useful, but then a visual representation is really interesting, and we are able to take a lot of learnings from that. Okay, so let's look at the Sharpe ratio here. This is my Sharpe ratio. Let me just take it in the center of the screen, zoom in a little bit. And so here, if you look at it, on the Z axis, we have got RSI time period all the way from 11, 12, 13 to 18. On X axis, we have got, I think this is my X axis, where I have got RSI below. Give me 1 second. RSI below, the level below which I am going to be selling, and RSI above, the levels above which I am going to be buying. So these go from 0 to 100 or 1 to 99, and these also go from 1 to 99. So how do we analyze this kind of a chart? A lot of complications, lot of different colors, and how do I do that? Let's make it extremely simple. So if I look at it, and this is my Z axis. So if I really observe the way it is, I would see that there are very similar structure of this chart, which is in form of columns, kind of columns. Okay, so here you have most of it is in the like kind of a column. Okay, you are able to probably see this. This is on this side, and if I rotate it around, let me rotate it around. Even here on this rotation, I am also able to see those kind of column formations. So what does it really mean? What I understand from this is the RSI, sorry for that, RSI value, whether I take it from 11 RSI, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, it does not have a lot of implication when it comes to this particular strategy. So whether I'm using RSI 14 or 15 or 17, it looks to be similar values. So don't worry about the RSI parameterization. You could use RSI 15, somebody using 14, really doesn't matter. Very, very important learning, right? And we are taking this learning after looking at more than 4 million different transactions across 45 different stocks. Then another one that I am seeing, if I then look at just the RSI below and RSI above, there is a clear kind of visual representation that I see. And here, Sharpe ratio, the brighter it is, the more it is, and the dull it is, the less it is, which is purple, or you may call it blue. And here, if I look at it, there is a kind of structure which is emerging, which is here in this particular area. Let me just choose the best color for this. I'll choose no, orange I cannot choose. Let me choose green. Green is not being used. So here in this particular area, you are seeing that people are not making very good Sharpe ratios. Okay, so this is the typical range, the 20, 30, 70s, the in between ranges. These are the typical ranges where most of the traders are trading, and this is the typical range where the Sharpe ratio is the lowest one. I mean, if you really look at it, that is why most of the people are not making profits. Then let's go a little further. There are, let me just go a little down and see. Okay, so there are particular areas where you would be able to see clear winners, and please do not take this as any kind of advice, because this is not complete trading system. Building trading system is not so simple. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and only then you have a good winning system. This is only for discussion purpose. So if you really look at it, the RSI below values above 80 and 90 are where you are probably having best of the best Sharpe ratios. So these are the values, and the RSI above, you could be above 15, 20. This is where the first high values are. So if you go to these levels, RSI real above 15 and 91, you are having 1.69, 1.7, 1.5, all these more than one Sharpe ratios. Then similarly here, 3587, 3589, you see the value which is more than 1.5, 1.4. Here you've got decent, not really so big, but still okay. But these are RSI real below 71. So if you trade between 51 and 71, you could have made money in this particular market. And then these are the very end kind of thing, 79.89, 79.90, and so on and so forth. They also would make money for you. They would have made money for you. I'm not saying they will make money for you. I'm not predicting future in any ways in this particular discussion. Now then there is another section here which I see a clear winner, which comes somewhere here. Here and then probably here. Okay, and if I look at those values again, 1.6, 1.7, 1.0, these are the short trades. If you buy 19 and sell 21, if you buy 9 and 17, 9, 18, so this is where you might have made money also. These are again short trades, small trades. But if you would have taken something like this, 3070, where is 3070, 2370, 2970, this is where you would probably not make a lot of profits, lot of good Sharpe ratio. I'm not talking about profit yet. So this is the story on the Sharpe ratio. Let's go to the next one. Next one I have is total returns. Okay, if I look at total returns, this is the story that I see in total returns. Now total returns, this faint blue is zero or values very close to 0% return, as in you are not making any money. You have spent 13 years in the market and not made much money, or you probably would have lost. Here for example, you would have lost 33% of your capital. So these are the ones which you are not really interested in. What you are interested in are the bright yellow colored zones. And here also you would see the vertical columns which we talked about, and it looks like RSI values really don't have so much to play. But if you look at it, there are clear winners in terms of your ranges. Again, this is one area. I will draw a hollow figure. This is one area, there's another area which is fairly okay, and this looks to be another area. And then we talked about that small area there. Okay, so if I look at the values here, the values, for example, here you would have made 277 times return. Okay, here you would have made 147, 270, 272, pretty good returns. And these are opportunities which could have been there around those 13 years. Okay, so these are where people would have made a lot of money. But you would see in terms of total returns, RSI, it's not really just picking up RSI and picking up some data and making a lot of money. It's actually hollow, most of the data. I believe you would probably know. I used to be a fan of RSI at one point in time before I saw this particular chart. Then next one, we are talking about max drawdown. Max drawdown is if you talk about your money that you have. So whatever money you have, and then you make more profits, and from the profit that you have, you lose something. So what you are going to be losing, this, what is the percentage of this loss compared to your highest profit? Okay, this is what is the max drawdown. And if I look at the max drawdown, this is how the story looks like. The zero or less max drawdown is bright, which is good to be, and the darker one is worse, probably not so nice. So if you look at this max drawdown story, you would first you would observe a very similar situation, just like we saw in the case of Sharpe ratio. There is a area, and this particular area was the same area that we got the worst Sharpe ratio, and this area we are getting the best drawdown. So when you are going to be making the least return for the risks that you take, you are also going to be not losing much. So it is going to be a smoother curve, and smoother curve to make you losses, because in profits we did not see too much of profits there, right? While as the areas which were very high profitability areas, these areas we are actually making huge drawdowns. Let's look at what is the amount of drawdown that we are talking about. So if I look at this, where we had very good returns, 80% drawdown. I mean, that is insane, right? You cannot you cannot afford to have 70%, 80% at one point in time, 70% losing, loss of your capital. Of course, yes, it also recovers it very, very fast, but I would not be able to comfortably trade this particular strategy. Here there are drawdowns which is 10%, 20%, 30%, which looks to be fairly comfortable. Now this another area was there where you had good decent return, where the drawdown is also comfortable, and also it had good Sharpe ratio, also had decent enough returns. So maybe this area one may want to look at, but this will have very small trades and short trades, and maybe it depends on the kind of trader one is. But the idea here is that RSI, I am not very convinced at this point in time after looking at this data, if RSI really is an indicator which could be exploited to make consistent profits. Yes, I would have a lot of viewers here who would have been making consistent profits just using RSI, which is perfectly possible. You might have been really either lucky or intelligent, more intelligent than what I am. My data, based on looking at 423,000 different combinations and more than 4 million data on entries and exits trades, I am not able to find a good combination of RSI which worked in last 13 years. That's my finding, but believe me, this is not the strategy or the trading plan, or I'm not recommending you anything. What I am here for is to show you the possibility of the data analysis that you could do, and this takes no more than 1.5 hours, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. You could write the code, you could execute the code, and you're done with it. You move to something else which probably could be more profitable, more beneficial, and then you could define your own strategy which will probably make you money. So let's look at the data, let's be data driven, and let's make data driven informed decisions with our money. If we need to trade, let's trade to win rather than being a herd in the herd mentality, losing all the time. So this is what I was talking about. The best return combination is 13, 15, 18, and the best Sharpe ratio combination is 13, 89, 16. So there are a lot of variability here, and you are not able to look at anything specific. You are welcome to code it yourself and try it out. I believe I have made my point very clear. If you want to learn the tricks of the game, please be my guest. I am going to be taking trainings this weekend on how do we develop this kind of code to do backtesting, not to do complete strategy building. Complete strategy building is a big game. Let's learn step by step. This weekend I'm going to be helping people to learn how to do backtesting, how to see what works, how to see what does not work, and learn Python. And you don't need to know anything in programming. I take you step by step all the way from Excel sheets going into the fairly complex coding. You don't need to be a super duper programmer, you would have seen it's very simple code to test it. Just like this is little difficult than using Excel sheets. I hope it helps you. If it did help, and if you are already doing something like this, don't forget to put it in your comments. Don't forget to put it in your comments what you would like to see next, so that I can help you guys with. Thank you so much. Bye.